defensive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another Chelsea news video. First things first, guys, make sure you smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here, and as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below. And the big news from today is that Chelsea have named their squad for the Conference League format. Let's start that again.
The last home game of the season is probably I'm not defensive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another Chelsea news video. First things first, guys, make sure you smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here, and as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Conference League. Chelsea have named their squad for the next phase of the competition, and there are three notable omissions. There's no Cole Palmer, no Romeo Lavia, and no Wesley Fofana. The trio left out for what has been described as load management reasons, given we could be playing 70 or plus games this season with the Club World Cup next summer as well. Now, I don't see this as a big issue whatsoever. I think it's a smart decision to do, particularly in the case of Romeo Lavia, and particularly in the case of Wesley Fofana, guys that haven't played a lot of football recently, guys that have had a lot of injury issues. And it makes sense, doesn't it? You know, it's an extra 6 games they're not going to play. They're going to be fresher for the Premier League, and it's going to help them in their road back to sort of full match fitness and being able to be available for us on a more regular basis. You know, Fofana didn't play at all last season. Lavia played, what, half an hour? Palmer made, what, nearly 50-odd appearances and went deep into the Euros with England all the way to the final. He's been suffering with a bit of muscle fatigue at the start of this season, which is why he's pulled out of the England squad for this upcoming international break. And yeah, as I said, it's a season that might require us to compete in 5 competitions and could go well into the end of July if we do well in that new Club World Cup. Now, if we look at some players that have been named in the squad, and look, this is an opportunity for other players to stake a claim for minutes, and for other players to get an opportunity that might not otherwise get it. Now, look at the squad here. Obviously, Bettinelli's out. You've got Lucas Bergstrom as a third choice keeper. Defensively, you know, we've got players like Josh Akenpong in there, Keanu Dyer, who young player, Harrison McMahon, and Max Merrick as well. All these youngsters that are on the list within the squad. Carney Chukwuemeka's in there, and Cesare Casadei's in there as well, which is interesting. Makes interesting reading that. Maybe there is some way back for Chukwuemeka. Maybe he will play some sort of minutes in this competition. You'd like to think so against the likes of Noah and Ghent and Shamrock Rovers, that surely someone like Chukwuemeka can get some minutes. Jadon Sancho's obviously in there, Mark Guiu, Jackson, Neto, Mudryk, Felix. Like, it's a strong squad. It's a strong squad. And I'm seeing people sort of losing their minds a little bit that Cole Palmer's been left out the squad. And I'm thinking, guys, it's 6 games. He can be added for the next phase. You could add 3 players to the squad for the next phase, and that would likely be for the knockout rounds: Lavia, Fofana, and Palmer. So what's the issue here? Are people really that concerned? Are people really thinking that we can't beat Shamrock Rovers, we can't beat Ghent, and we can't beat Noah without Cole Palmer in the team? If that's the case, you might as well just delete the club. You might as well delete the club if you genuinely think we cannot beat these teams without Cole Palmer in the side. You've got to manage minutes. You have to be careful. This is how players break down. This is how we end up having, you know, a lot of injury issues because we haven't maybe taken care of players like we should have done in the past. That is part of the major issue we've had. You know, just playing players week in, week out, running them into the ground, and inevitably picking up injuries. And now when we do something that's a smart decision, preserving players for games that, quite frankly, aren't particularly important, and that we've got more than enough quality to get by with and win, and then people are still moaning about it. I don't understand it at all. I really don't understand it. It's a strange one, but this is what, there's no pleasing some people. There is no pleasing some people with whatever happens in regards to what Chelsea are doing. Now, what it does mean, though, is that the likes of Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo are probably going to be playing a lot of football. Maybe it's, I wouldn't say that it means that Lavia is going to be preferred in the Premier League, but I think there's certainly going to be a lot more rotation there. And it just allows these guys a little bit more time to get themselves back up to speed, to find their feet, and ultimately to make sure that they can be available for Chelsea on a weekly basis rather than being available for a few games, then not available. We want these guys to be ready and available for a consistent run of games. And if that means they're not available for 6 games in the league phase of the Conference League, I don't really think that's a big price to pay. I really, really don't. We're not playing, with the greatest respect to the competition, we're not playing very good sides, particularly in this first phase. And if we can't get 4 wins out of 6 or 3 wins out of 6 against the teams that we're playing, then we quite frankly don't deserve to even be in this competition. If that's going to be the scenario, and if that's going to be the case, then we might as well just pack it in and give up and go and follow another sport or something like that, because we shouldn't be having any issues beating the teams that are in front of us in this league phase. We've got more than enough quality to get by. And as I said, just because those guys are missing out, it's a big opportunity for other players, your likes of your Dewsbury Halls, Guihu, Sancho, Neto, Felix, Mudryk, all these guys. There's big opportunities for them, and there's big opportunities for some of the younger academy lads as well. I'm sure we'll definitely see the likes of Josh Akinpong feature in the conference. I'm sure we'll see maybe the Keanu Dyer as well. And this is good positives for the club. It's a chance for young players to get minutes in senior football that they perhaps otherwise wouldn't be getting. So I haven't got any issue with the decision to leave those 3 out of the squad. It makes sense. It's load management. It's going to be a long season, and we need to look after these guys. I can guarantee you, right, if Lavia, Fofana or Palmer had played in these games and then they'd got injured, everyone would be saying, well, why do you play him in these games? We've got more than enough quality to get by without these guys. Why do they pick him for these matches? So now you almost feel like you can't win. There is no need for those players to be playing in these games. Palmer, you can rest him. You've got other quality options available. And Lavia and Fofana, it's been a long road back, and it will be a long road back. These guys still aren't fully firing at their best just yet. And we want to look after them. And I think what we are going to see this season is Chelsea being very cautious with players. If there's a slight issue or even an inkling there might be something wrong, you're out the squad and you're going to miss a game. And I'd much rather us be overly cautious and run players into the ground and constantly pick up injuries. Now, I think it's a big decision for sure to leave them out, but I absolutely agree with it in the most part. Minutes need to be managed. Others will benefit, as we've said. And against these teams, we absolutely shouldn't need their help. I suppose the only one that's a little bit of a concern is Fofana, because I'm not that comfortable with any of the other centre-back options that could replace him, like a Disasi or a Badia Shield or a Tosin. Doesn't really fill me with an awful lot of confidence. But at the same time, we shouldn't really be facing too many attacking issues from these teams. If we're struggling to keep clean sheets against a number of these sides, then that is problematic. But I'd probably say that Fofana's omission is probably the one that you'd be the most maybe concerned about, just given the fact that, we haven't really got an awful lot of faith in those other defensive options that are going to be available to us. But I think, we'll add him back for the knockout rounds and we should be absolutely fine. And there's no excuses to not win this competition. You look at the teams that are in it, and I'm sorry, I don't want to be disrespectful to them, but if we can't win this Conference League, there is something seriously, seriously wrong. We're by far and away the biggest club in it. We're by far and away the best team in it. We're by far and away got the most talent out of any of the squads that are there. So there's no excuses not to win it whatsoever. So leaving a few players out in the league phase of this competition really shouldn't be any problem at all. Yeah, it's a big decision. Yeah, it's bold, but it's a smart decision. It's a sort of thing that Chelsea need to start thinking about on a more regular basis, is managing players' minutes, looking after players, not burning them out, not running them into the ground, and not picking up injuries. And that's something that I've noticed at the start of the season, is that we're seemingly being a lot more careful with players. We've got the squad able to do it, to rest players and to make these changes, and hopefully still be able to get the same results that we would without them. Obviously, if this was a Premier League situation, I'd be a little bit more concerned, but this is the Conference League. It should be absolutely fine, and I personally haven't got any issues with it at all. We've got to look after these guys. You know, we've got to look after them. We're going to need them for the majority of the season. We want to be successful. And then missing 6 games in the Conference League, I've got no problem with it at all. But that's just my thoughts on Chelsea's Conference League squad and the omissions of Lavia, Fofana and Cole Palmer. As always, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll catch you again in another one soon. Up the Chelsea, and peace out.